We want summertime wedding and in the near future.
You know, we're about to start a new year and there'll be a summer in that year.
It'll be a big year for us, 2022.
Michelle and Young, will you marry me?
Yes, of course.
Oh my gosh, look how you guys are holding hands. How in love are we?
So in love.
Very much so.
You were that first person to step out of the limo, but you were also that first impression rose.
Yep.
And that means that you had to be the last person to accept this rose. So, Nate, do you accept this rose?
Every day.
I mean, from the first rose to the final rose, Michelle, this guy is sitting here right now, your guy after it all. Was there ever a moment when you were like, I don't know if it's him, or in the back of your mind, was he the one through and through always, and this is exactly where you're supposed to be?
I think this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, but I always was constantly like checking my feelings and monitoring my feelings. And now where Nate was in those feelings was pretty high at the top. But there were times where like I did press him to make sure that I, was getting an answer that I needed, just because, I can't even say he is now, but he wasn't used to opening up and being vulnerable. And that was something that was very new. And so, that's something that I challenged you on quite a bit, and hey, he delivered.
Nate, what about you? As she just said, she challenged you quite a bit.
Yeah.
And throughout this whole process, was there ever a moment where you were like, truly, I don't know if I can do this, or were you always in it?
I was in it, I tried to progress through our relationship as naturally as possible in like a natural environment, right? And I just wanted to like always check my emotions, check my feelings, have conversations with myself. There's a lot of downtime, right? So just always making sure that I know exactly what it is that I want to do, and that's exactly what I did at the end.
And this is my soul Nate.
Oh, I like that. Hey, nothing but Nate, all right?
Nate, you'd never been in love before, right?
Yep.
So how do you know? Like, it's always interesting to encounter somebody who says that, because I'm like, well, how do you know then? Okay, no, I am in love now. And Michelle, did that, were you at all deeply, or were you like, we're going to get him there?
For me, there was a moment of like extreme clarity for me, of like when my heart and my mind were completely in sync, everything connected. And I was just certain it's like, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. I could hardly imagine life without her, when I would be laying in bed and imagining, and like, that's not ever really happened for me, right? So there's a lot of different pieces throughout the journey that I just held on to, and I was like, this is it. I'm certain. I'm in tune. This is what I want.
For me, I don't know. Like, everybody has the time where like they were in love for the first time, and when and it's like this. You know what I mean? It comes across differently for everybody, but. Like with my brother and his wife, she was his first love. My sister and her husband, he was her first love. So it was not this like foreign thing, I guess.
So we're really continuing a family tradition.
Right. Like, he fits the mold perfectly, but it's just, like if you're able to navigate through those feelings, whether you are 17, whether you are 27, whether you are middle-aged, like like you just have those strong feelings. And when and hey, yeah, he's a 27-year-old man who's never been in love before, and now he is. So round of applause for that.
A plus for that. A plus for that.
You did it.
Well, and look, I think a lot of us look back, and maybe there were times when we said, I love you. And when you look back and sitting in maturity, you're like, wait, was I really in love? So it's a word we maybe throw around too easily. And Nate, you did not. What was it like to watch it all back? I know you guys had the AFR last night, but what was it like for you, Nate, to watch back? Because when I interviewed Caitlin, for example, Caitlin said, Michelle genuinely was all in with her emotions. Nate, how was it for you to watch her be all in with those emotions with other people too?
Very, very early on after the engagement, Michelle and I had a conversation of exactly how everything ended. So I kind of was already, in the know of everything and where her emotions were with.
She gave you the syllabus. Okay.
Right. Gave
the outline.
Exactly. Yes. Right. So I'd already known, we had our conversations about it. And again, like I've said this a few times already today, but realistically, like when you're in this unnatural environment, things like that can happen, right? So it's not like, you know, you got to just remember like, hey, this is a weird environment with 30 guys, 1 woman. Things like this can happen, you know, like in the outside world, I guess, like something like that would probably never happen, right? But in this world, you know, it's, you know, some people fall in love with multiple people, some people fall in love with only one individual, some people fall in love with nobody, right? And, you know, there's, at the end of the day, like I get to wake up next to Michelle for the rest of my life. So, hey, you know, we're back into the real world, right? So, you know, it can only bother you so much before you're like, hey, you know what, it is what it is. That was the environment we're in. Let's just keep it pushing.
I'm the happiest guy in the world right now.
Was the finale airing a relief?
Yeah.
You're like, yes.
It was nice. It's nice to get on with everything.
Get it out there. Was there a moment that was tough to watch that you two had to talk through when it aired, one of the episodes?
I think I mean,
Nate's laughing, so something's in his mind.
We're laughing because the whole thing is just difficult. It's not something most people have to experience. And we kind of talked about how we were really in love when we left on that day that we got engaged, but you learned so much about each other, and we had just gotten to know each other even like more like during that period of time. And so, you know, by the time you're getting to these, you know, week 8, 9, 10 of the show, when more serious relationships are happening, now you have like significantly more serious relationship as well. And so there is like, it's going to be uncomfortable. And, you know, we didn't pretend that it was just never uncomfortable. We definitely just said, this is a really weird situation. Let's talk about your feelings. Let's talk about my feelings. And here's how we're going to navigate it. Just because it's like, to say we're going to go through this whole experience unfazed is not really realistic.
Well, you know? And Nate, I saw that you posted something, you know, I mean, you posted a beautiful post about you two, and you did say, regardless of the edit. Is there anything you want to clear up about the edit?
No, at the end of the day, you know, like I completely understand that there's a story to be told. And I understand that these are people's, you know, jobs, and this is their livelihoods, how they support their family, everything like that. So at the end of the day, like what's most important is that, you know, Michelle and I know exactly like our story, and our story is just now beginning to really be told, right? So it is what it is. I'm just happy that, you know, like we do have the rest of our lives to just continue, you know, being Michelle and Nate.
In Minnesota. This is huge because look, I've done interviews for the shows for years, and a lot of people say it's hard when you're trying to do that long distance. Like that's hard. So how important was it to make that decision to move to Minnesota? Like Nate, what does that mean for your work or anything like that? And why was that so important for you too?
For me, I get to work remote, which is really nice in the industry that I'm in. So working remote, it makes everything so much easier. But then also, like, you know, Michelle has a lot going on in Minnesota, right? Family, friends, work, you know, school as well, finishing her master's and whatnot. And for Austin, you know, I have a bunch of friends. I've been there for 2 years, and I love my friends. I love Austin, but realistically, like it makes the most sense for me to go to Minnesota. And, you know, something about Michelle and I, when we're talking about the perfect relationship, is definitely family oriented, right? And where I'm from, my whole family, they're all in Winnipeg, which is like a 7-hour drive from Minneapolis, right? So right there, it's so close for us to like really bring our families together. So like all the stars were pointing to Minneapolis, and, you know, it was really easy to make that decision.
Yeah, that right there is from us in the Bachelor family. And that is I'm gonna cry. That's a down payment on your first home together.
You guys got a down payment for a house. I mean, how did that's a first for the franchise. How did that feel? They're like, we are gonna make these two work.
You know, down payment or not, it was an incredibly generous gift. Yeah, we're making this work.
Yes.
we will figure it out with whatever comes our way.
I heard that your moms have gotten close. Tell me about what it's been like to see those relationships develop.
They're funny. They, you know, we really did, like Nate said, we want to bring our families together. Being able to kind of lean on each other's families as this was all unfolding was incredibly helpful. Me getting close to Nate's sister, him getting close to my siblings, my family, has been really special. And now that we can do it together and like physically get together, I don't know, it really makes this all sink in even more. So it's been awesome.
I mean, your parents were a huge part of this season, Michelle. Moms are approving and they are vibing on it all.
Moms are off wedding planning their own mother trips without us. They are in their own worlds. Like you know?
Yeah, they are best friends.
They're
Wow.
It's- it's
Okay,
awesome.
I don't know. We might need another special, the real love story that's come out
The
of here.
real love story. Yes, exactly.
Well, tell me where you guys are at. I mean, you're gonna move to Minnesota. Where are you at with wedding planning and what the next steps are for you two?
All we know is that it's going to be, or all we're going to say is that we want summertime wedding and in the near future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're about to start a new year, and there will be a summer in that year. So are we talking?
Hey, there will be. There will be.
It'll be a big year for us, 2022.
At the end, I wanted to be standing in front of my soulmate, and he is definitely standing right in front of me.
It's awesome to see you two sitting, because sometimes I do these interviews and the people sitting in the chairs are like on either side of the chair, and it's not you two are holding on to each other and can't keep your hands off each other. So just like, tell me where, I love you said, Michelle, that your relationship has grown even more since filming stopped. Tell me about that growth and what you've learned about each other, and honestly, just how in love you are.
We just are, I did not realize how much we align and like oddly, weirdly align, are similar. Like sometimes I feel like he's like the male clone of me. He's really good at talking about his emotions. Like he's really, really vulnerable with like words of affirmation, actually more than me. And so it's been really cool to see like that piece of him, but also, we have this like intellectual side where we can just talk about different conversations and geek out on documentaries, and then we're goofing around 2 seconds later. It's just, I feel like we get each other on so many different levels, and it's been really cool to see how similar we are, and then also see like differences that we love about each other as well.
Nate's like, she covered it all.
No, she really did. She really did. Like it's amazing. Like give us an hour and we'll cover so much in an hour, right? Like we'll be goofy, we'll be serious, we'll be talking about, like literally we sat down on the couch the other night for like 40 minutes because we were eating popcorn and we were just curious, like how does it pop? Like what's going on that like corn can be like put in a microwave and turned into like a hard like solid type of object to like a fluffy type of delicious little treat, right? And we like for 45 minutes just like went on this crazy search.
You
of, like,
can
what is the
Google it.
science?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
like
link
what
it.
is the science
I'll
behind?
link it in my bio.
No, it's,
Whoever
yeah,
wants to
no,
tune
like,
in.
Oh my gosh.
next we're watching, just I don't know, just anything.
Cartoons.
You're gonna make it. You're in this.
Oh, 100%.
Didn't think you were gonna get that how-to on popcorn, right? Huh?
I mean, it's a TV show, so now we can tell everybody, here's how you eat the popcorn when you're watching the show. Michelle, all in all, what grade do you give you and Nate getting through all this together?
Ooh, A++.
All
Flying
right.
colors.